my MC duties. Come on up, Shiry Sapir. Shiry Sapir is running for Superintendent of Public Instruction, and a lot of people might not think that that is an important job, but she cares about our children. She cares about their education. She cares about parents. She knows that parents know better than educrats, and she has been traveling this entire state, spreading the word of why we have to get rid of the current person that's in office who swore in on a Dr. Seuss book and put some sanity into that office and into our schools. So, Shiry.
Thank you so much. This is the second time I'm here. I'm so glad to be back here. I actually toured your schools the last time I was here, and I really enjoyed them. And that really gives a lot more fire in my belly to do what's right, because this is how I want schools to look like. I want our children in uniform. I want them to be happy. I saw your little kids barefoot at Masada School with a broom, just kind of taking the leaf off the pathway. It was just so beautiful to watch. And the kind of education that you guys are trying to instill in your children is something that we really need to make sure that we focus on in this country. It's hard to see it when you're inside a small community, to really see what's out there in the urban areas in Maricopa, but it is a disaster, and it always comes down to the smaller communities eventually, especially when you are dependent on some federal money, and the federal government is hell-bent on doing all the LGBTQ ideology, gender ideology policies, bring them into your schools, the boys being in your restrooms, the boys being in the girls' sports, all of these things that I know you oppose, and regardless of your political party affiliation or your political involvement. These are things that I know this community doesn't believe in, and we need to make sure that we protect them on the state level. The person in that office right now, Kathy Hoffman, could care less about what your community wants. She could care less about God and the church, whatever church that is. They're atheists, and they don't believe in any of these things. And we need to make sure that the education system is in alignment with whatever it is that we're trying to instill in our children at home. I came here from Israel over 20 years ago. I served in the Israeli military. I feel that it is my time right now to serve this country in this capacity, because I cannot trust politicians, and I cannot trust people in the education system right now to do what's right. They do not believe that we should have school choice, and that's my number one priority. I want to empower the parents in Arizona to take the children to whatever school they feel fit their priorities and their expectations. And that's something that I'm going to fight very hard for. I'm going to fight for the innocent. Look at this wind. Okay, God, I'm with you. I'm going to fight for the innocence of your children. This is something that we should not take for granted. The sexualization and the grooming that's going on in our public schools right now is unbelievable. And it's happening. And it's not just something that you hear on the national news. It's happening right here in Arizona. And the department is soliciting our children and facilitating a lot of these activities through different chat rooms with adults that have no business speaking with our children. So the superintendent role up until now, up until the last couple of 3 years, might have been more, how are we teaching math, or how are we teaching reading? But now it's taken a whole different aspect of our communities. We need to make sure that we have people in that office, in the department, that protect our children and their innocence, and that's what I'm planning on doing. It also will be nice to bring true academics to the schools again. I've toured your schools. I enjoyed very much seeing what you have going on, and you do have a very good thing going here in Colorado City. But that's not the case for a lot of the children around Arizona. The children cannot read, they cannot write, especially after COVID and the shutdowns. Them being on digital devices most of the time in the classroom is also a huge problem. So all of these things are things that we must address from the top down. I want every child in Arizona to be able to read by second grade. I don't think that's an unattainable goal. That should be the goal of every educator. It's not for them to come and talk to them about social justice issues or things that are unrelated to true academics. And it's time that we instill true love of country. This is the best country on earth. I know that as an immigrant, and I want everyone that is being born in this country to be able to have the appreciation that we immigrants have for this country, and love the liberties that we have, love the Constitution, understand the Constitution. Unfortunately, most of the time, if I go around different schools, and you can ask kids in middle school, what's the Fifth Amendment? And I can tell you that 20 out of 20 a lot of times will not know the answer. And to me, that's tragic. It's actually unacceptable. And that's why I'm going to open the 1776 department in the Department of Education. We're going to make sure that we instill an understanding of the Constitution of the United States to every child in Arizona. So again, yes, a lot of people might have thought that the superintendent is not an important role, but things have changed. And it is extremely important, even in your small community, that you go out and you talk to people. And it doesn't matter what party affiliation you are, there should be a consensus as to what is good for children. There should not be any controversy as far as keeping their innocence, giving them the best future we can give them, letting them achieve the American dream. This should be non-controversial. So please, if you can, come by, take some of my palm cards, go around your neighborhood, make sure people are aware, and then take some yard signs. We do need to have visibility in every small area of the state. I really want to win this because I want to protect our children. I want to see them successful, and I want them to have the American dream that I have. My name is Shiry Sapir, running for superintendent. Thank you so much for your attention today. Thank you.
Thank you, Shiry. Great job. Yeah, I don't